What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 97 of the Silver and Gold podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Mike.
Actually, I'm not just Josh today. I am five-time Manor Fantasy Football League champion Josh. And, I've talked to Mike quite a bit today. We've had a couple phone calls scattered across the day. And not much has my championship been brought up, but I did want... It's like slowly kicking in that I have won again. And, I can't help but think that we have a 10 team league. We only have 4 different people on the trophy. And this, the people at the trophy engraving shop that we take it to probably think that we're in a 4-team league. They have to at this point, dude. We have 10 years worth of names and there's only four champions on it.
Yeah, I if I see the same guy that I took the trophy to this past year to get the engraving, I think he's gonna be sick for me.
You think so? Nah,
Because
he's just gonna be happy, oh, more money.
and he's gonna be like, well, this is easy. I can just copy and paste this one and just change one letter. Um,
One number.
no, because he had already brought it up. Like, Jesus, who is this guy? This dude's
Really?
won 4 championships. Yeah, yeah. He's like, God, is that you? I'm like, unfortunately, that's not me.
Was
Luckily, I
was
was
it the
the
Asian
new
guy?
plaque. No, no, it was this
Oh, is it a
different
different
guy.
guy?
I had never seen him until this past time that I took the trophy in. So
Did you tell him
I wouldn't be shocked.
it was a 10-team league?
Yeah, I probably did. Because we were talking quite a bit for a little bit there the day I took it and the day that I picked it back up, like a week later or whatever, about the league and stuff. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what else is crazy to me too is so over at my new job, I have this coworker who's a really cool dude, and he was telling me how he wants to get into being a Raiders fan, but like, he didn't like that they moved away because he's from Alabama, right? So they don't have a team over in Alabama. And then he, I guess, rooted for the Broncos for a little bit when he, lived in Colorado. But like now that he lives here, he wanted to be a Raider fan. He has been in this fantasy league. This fantasy league has been together for about 15 years. He had never been to the championship, let alone won it. And he won his first championship because heading into Monday Night Football, Puka needed less than 20 points and he would have won. And Puka had about 100 yards called back on penalties and a touchdown. So, you know, I I'm happy for the people who won for the first time, and I'm also happy for myself who has won for the 5th time in 7 years.
5 in 7 years, 5 out of 10 championships.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Good Lord. I mean, I yeah.
So, all right, this is just a reminder to everyone. When they say fantasy football is nothing but luck, it's not nothing but luck. I put in effort. I really do. I put an effort into it. But let's move on with the show, huh? Because we didn't come here to well, Mike's gonna smirk now because I can't use basic words. We didn't arrive to this podcast to just talk about my fantasy championship, as much as it's making me smile right now. But we came to talk about the 49ers and how well they played on offense. Brock Purdy, my goodness. All right, I wanna be 100% clear to everybody who has watched this podcast, because I'm not going to lie, I hopped on the Mac Jones train because I felt like he was providing really good quarterback play for the price that he was being paid. And the way that Brock Purdy is playing right now, I think that his contract is worth it, because I think right as of right now, I'm I'm back. I'm fully behind Brock Purdy. That sounded not that great. But like, I guess I was just worried that the league was kind of catching up to him a little bit. But the past, I'd say, especially this Bears game, because the Bears actually have a really good defense, and Brock Purdy dropped 42 points on them. Like, I mean, yeah, he threw that pick six with the first play of the game, but he battled back. And hold on, what were his final stats? All right, he was 24 of 33 for 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. And hold on, I want to say he ran in for 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he ran for 2 touchdowns. He had 6 carries for 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. And so, I mean, he's playing at a high level. He's making highlight plays. Like, I haven't felt this way about Purdy or this confident in Purdy since all right, since 2023 for sure, but I feel like he hasn't been playing this well since he was a rookie. And Mike, you were there for a couple of those games when he took over the offense as a rookie, and like, do you remember that playoff game against Seattle where he's like high stepping, and like, we're getting cocky Purdy back, and I am all here for it because like, he's kind of playfully cocky. I don't know if you caught it in the game last week. We weren't able to talk about it when he was scrambling, and then he like completely, I forget the player. I forget the player he did it to, but Purdy stuck out the ball in the defender's face, like, to like make him flinch, or to get a reaction out of him. And then Purdy was like, like, dapped him up on the helmet and was like, just to kind of signify, like, I don't know why I did that. I'm just messing with you, like I'm playing around. But that was like really cool. Honestly, if Purdy was healthy and playing like this season, like the whole way through, I'm not forgetting that Purdy struggled earlier this year, and he had a couple games where he had multiple interceptions. I'm not forgetting that. But the level that we're getting right now, I think it's very, very promising. It's very exciting as a fan to have a quarterback playing at such a high level. Like, if Purdy was playing like this all year, he would be undoubtedly the MVP of the league, I think. And partly because he's playing very well, but also partly because there's no other quarterback, I'd say, right now who is clearly running away with it. I thought it might have been Matthew Stafford, and then he just kind of like melted down on Monday Night Football last night. So I don't know, Mike. Am I just missing someone? Like, who in your eyes is the NFL MVP right now? Because I could name a couple guys who could maybe get it, but it's kind of like last year where we just didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clearly to me going to come down to May or Stafford. I did have this realization this week, in part because I saw a couple TikToks about this player. Um, if this player's team had a winning record, without a doubt, he would be the MVP. And above that, I've come to the realization that this guy is by far the best player in the NFL.
Aiden O'Connell?
Can you guess? That's another topic I actually was thinking about the other day. We'll get to him.
If they
yes.
Well, it couldn't be Joe Burrow.
No.
It couldn't be Joe Burrow. He was injured for most of the year. By far the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, I think this season to me has solidified it.
Are we talking? Is it Myles Garrett?
It is Myles Garrett. I think there's not a more dominant player in the NFL. Because if there were, they would clearly be winning MVP. Because he's on the Browns, he's not going to win that. He will unless there's somebody I'm missing, he will get Defensive Player of the Year.
I was so sad when the Browns took Myles Garrett ahead of the 49ers.
Were you guys the number 2 pick?
We were the number 2 pick, and then we traded down to number 3 and took Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
Which I'd say if you don't get Myles Garrett, I think Solomon Thomas is a very good backup plan. Yeah, runner up.
A nice. He's almost as good as him. Well, that feels to me like that. Not that exact draft, but a very similar or nearby draft. When Bosa got picked by the Niners, like I just couldn't wrap my head around the tiebreaker that caused the Raiders to be the 4th pick and the Jets and Niners to pick ahead of them. Like, I'm sure it was strength of schedule, just as it is this year with different, possibilities involving draft picks, which we will get to. But the Raiders lost to the Niners. That was the big 34-3 Thursday night football game, last Battle of the Bay, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
And the Niners beat the Raiders, so I'm thinking, okay, well, that breaks that tiebreaker, and we were tied with the Jets. But because of strength of schedule, we ended up behind both of them.
Yeah.
And we needed a quarterback, and we needed a defensive end. Kyler Murray went first. In hindsight, I don't care about that, but Nick Bosa was like, oh, this is the generational guy,
Imagine if you guys had taken Bosa and Crosby in the same draft.
Yeah, I mean, imagine them on the same team. It'd be nuts. And the other slap in the face.
If that happened, Max Crosby wouldn't be revered the same way. They would kind of say he's a Nick Bosa merchant. Sorry.
Yeah, something to that effect for sure. The other slap in the face with that was like, wow, Garoppolo gets hurt, and the Niners end out getting a perennial All-Pro type player.
Yeah.
And the Raiders just live in that part of the draft, and yet we keep getting just the shittiest players possible. But in the 4th round, we're pretty good. But yeah, all that to be said, I think Myles Garrett is the best player in football right now. There's not a quarterback that's more dominant than he is at their position than he is at defensive end. And teams are literally game planning around him. I saw a play, might have been the Titans, but I could be wrong, where Myles Garrett obviously is an edge defender. He's lined up, and he must have noticed the way that they were lined up for their blocking assignments or what have you, that he was about to get like triple teamed. So he decided to just stand up and go across the line to the other edge. And 2 players proceeded to go. Other? No, 2 players proceeded to stand up on offense. Maybe one or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but probably just a tight end, unless 2 can go at the same time, but I don't think they can. I mean, I guess if it's pre-snap and like getting set, you can move as much as you want, right? Because just for example, like if the quarterback audibles and then like players kind of move around, like you can do that, right? Like multiple players. Or is it only one at a time?
On offense?
Yeah.
I think one at a time.
Feels like that, yeah. So maybe it was just one tight end, but basically he went across the line, tight end follows him. Gets set, Myles Garrett goes back across the other way, the tight end follows him. That's what defenses do.
Mm-hmm.
He has offenses playing defense against him pre-snap. That's like man coverage versus zone coverage.
Honestly, you want to know what I want to see Myles Garrett do? Yeah, I think this would be like pretty smart, but then he wouldn't break the sack record. And I'm sure teams would like love to force him to do it. But I mean, he's such a great athlete to where if he's going to be getting triple teamed, like, I don't know, fucking drift into coverage. Or if you're playing like a mobile quarterback, have him be the quarterback spy. Myles Garrett is fast. I'd say he's quick enough to be like an extra linebacker on the field.
He would probably be one of the best linebackers in football if he really put his mind to it. Like he's so physically, he's just the only player that I've seen in my life that kind of compares to him. Maybe you could think of a different player from a different team, but to me it would be Khalil Mack in his prime.
I was,
Like,
I thought about Khalil Mack.
but Myles Garrett, for the size, build, and power that he has, his finesse is just insane. It's inhuman.
I don't think that I've ever seen a player like since I've been watching football like as much as I have. I don't think I've seen a defensive player like Myles Garrett in my lifetime.
Not this dominant. I think if he were on a better team, if he found his way to a team like a consistent winner, you know? So
like the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams or like the Chiefs. God,
No, he would get buried under Mahomes.
Yeah, and he'd be next to Chris Jones. He'd have to go to a team by himself. And the Rams actually have a really good line. Like let's just damn, I don't know. I guess if he went to the Bills and the Bills like won 2 Super Bowls. And then we'll say Josh Allen, you know. But if he goes to a team and he wins like a Super Bowl or 2, I think he would be our modern day Lawrence Taylor.
Mean Joe Green.
Yeah. Well, I would say better. Like Lawrence Taylor is kind of Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White are like the pinnacle of defensive players.
I was gonna say.
Like I think if he wins a Super Bowl or 2, he is our generation's Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. Like he's that good. He's that dominant. And Aaron Donald was on the way there.
I was gonna ask you, who would you take in their prime? Myles Garrett or Aaron Donald?
It's probably still Aaron Donald, but Myles Garrett has so much time.
I would take Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, that's how dominant they both are. They're freaks. I would say for the size and the blend of finesse and power, I guess I probably would prefer Garrett, but the ability of Aaron Donald on the interior was just so insane.
As good as Nick Bosa is at pass rushing, I think Myles Garrett, I mean, he is such a dominant edge defender because I mean, he is also a force against the run too. Like he's a complete package.
Yeah. Yeah, this is no slander. If the Raiders were a winning team, I would trade Max Crosby and 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. Like he's that good.
No, you wouldn't.
I think if I felt like we were...
Oh, if you were a contender?
Yeah, contender.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like now.
No. Yeah, no, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I were the Niners, I would do it.
Nick
But Bosa,
I
feel like you...
Nick Bosa and two firsts for Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get the fans behind that. The fans love Bosa too much. The real football fans, the real football Niner fans would but like the I don't know. That's tough. Garrett is a much better player, I'd say. But has he won Defensive Player of the Year before? He won last year, right?
I think he did.
Okay. He's got to get back to back.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we? 49ers versus Bears. Niners versus Bears. This game was insane. Literally it was just a constant offense and on both ways. The Niners put up 42 points and barely beat the Bears, who scored 38 points. Every time the Niners would score, the Bears would answer, and it was just close the entire way. And I can't remember the last time that a football game had me on the edge of my... Well, I can remember the last time a football game had me on the edge of my seat like that. It was the Super Bowl. Ouch. But, like regular season, there's 2 games that come to mind. It's the Seattle game in 2019, and it is the Saints game. This game reminded me a lot of the Saints game in 2019. That was a shootout. But I will say, I think in hindsight, it's much more crazy to me that Jimmy Garoppolo was able to contend in a shootout in New Orleans than, like, I'm not as surprised that Brock Purdy was able to put up this many points. Like, it feels like every game that he plays when he's healthy, they just put up 30 plus points. That being said, man, fucking Purdy, man. I'm excited for him, not just for the remainder of this year, but like we have him under contract. Like it's finally for the first time, the contract is not bothering me at all. Because I'm like, you know what? Defenses I think would have adjusted to Purdy by now. And that was a good Chicago defense. And they were, if they would have won this game, would have been in contention for the 1 seed. I like what I see. Like, fuck yeah, this is the highest I've been on Kyle Shanahan his entire tenure, and I've been critical of Kyle, but now I'm like, fuck, dude, this dude just constantly gets us in the running for division titles and 1 seeds. And then another big thing too, since the 49ers did win this game, and we are going to preview, or I guess do predictions for the Seahawks game this upcoming weekend in this episode today. The 49ers have an opportunity to play nothing but home games for the rest of the year if they just win this upcoming Saturday. Isn't that insane? Oh, wow. I just, I looked away and now I see a bunch of comments we haven't gotten to. Kenny 49ers says, Bears had a terrible defense. Seattle does not. Bears had a terrible defense on Sunday night against the 49ers. They typically do have a good defense, though. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure the Bears have a lot of turnovers forced at the bare minimum. Like, I think they're a good turnover defense. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they are a solid to good defense that gets turnovers.
Yeah. I had them in fantasy, and they were doing pretty good in there. And typically, if you're doing good in fantasy, that means that you're doing pretty good in real life, especially when it comes to defense. Kenny 49er says, hope Purdy can chill on the interceptions. Honestly, I think he is playing at a level right now to where he's scoring so many touchdowns that I think that we can live with the interceptions. But I do agree. Turning the ball over is worse than interceptions are good. Then touchdowns are good. The Raiders are not going to try and win this week, are they? I kind of would rather get a better pick, says Kenny 49ers. I think we're going to talk about that definitely. Let's finish up with the 49ers, and then we can talk about that. Raider Nation 510 says, Taylon Green will be the future Las Vegas Raiders quarterback. It still feels so weird to say Las Vegas Raiders. They'll forever, like, in my brain, just be the Oakland Raiders. They're the Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas to me. Is that where you're at, Mike, or you've already fully transitioned?
They're the Las Vegas Raiders to me.
Yeah, well, sorry.
Formerly of Oakland.
Young Mantha. Wow. We're getting an appearance from Sam. He says, are you nervous for the game? I am pretty nervous for the game. I haven't been nervous for a 49er game in quite some time. Like, I'd say I was a little nervous going into the Bears one, but this is like a playoff game, and it feels like whichever team loses this upcoming Saturday night is going to get such an emotional letdown. Like, imagine going from, oh, we have a week off and then home field advantage the whole playoffs to, well, we have to play on the road, for the next couple weeks. What are you laughing about, Mike?
Oh, just Kenny's comment.
Okay. Pia says, wow, do I see the 2025 Fantasy League champ? Wow. You're not talking about Mike. You can't be. So I guess that might be me. It's a division
Yep.
game. The 49ers have a good shot at beating the Seahawks defense. Beating the Seahawks defense does not matter. I think defense does matter, but I just don't know if the Seahawks defense is going to be able to. I mean, they can. It's football. It's not like basketball where a great offense is going to beat a great defense, but like every time. But it being a divisional game gives me, I guess, the notion that this game is going to be very close. Um, I I think it's going to be close in this regard. I think the Seahawks clearly have a better defense than the 49ers, but the uh, the Niners I think have a better offense, and they just don't have Sam Darnold. I'm sorry, but every time I think of the way that this game's going to go, I just see Sam Darnold kind of unraveling in some form or another. That's my prediction. We will get to the, I guess, the full on predictions in a second, but let me finish up a couple of these comments and then finish up 49ers versus Bears. Bears are great at takeaways, but overall 24th to 28th ranked defense. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. To me they just seem like they have like good pass rushers, and like a decent secondary.
Mm.
Let's see. Kenny 49ers, why are you commenting Raiders? I don't get it, man. It's almost like doing a podcast where you talk about the Niners and the Raiders. Why would somebody do that? All right. We're getting a lot of Seahawks comments. Let me finish up the Bears and then we'll move on. The other player that I wanted to talk about was Christian McCaffrey. He had 23 carries for 140 yards and a touchdown. And then through the air, he had 4 receptions for 41 yards and no touchdowns. But, I mean, McCaffrey he was battling back stiffness and literally just kind of carrying the 49ers offense. He's playing at a high level too. I actually don't know if Purdy plays as well if he doesn't have McCaffrey's safety blanket. But as long as those two are on the field together, I feel pretty good about, the direction that this offense is going to go. And the last thing that I wanted to bring up was, Mike, do you remember that? Actually, I got 2 things. First thing is the Jennings touchdown. I think Pearsall made a hell of a block, a hell of a hustle play to get out in front and block for Jennings to get in for the touchdown. So I was very encouraged by that. And the last thing I wanted to say is on that final play, Mike, you saw the final play, right? The one where Caleb is drifting back. So the 49ers, I guess, only rushed 2. The call was for them to rush 4. But Tatum Bethune and it might have been D. Winters or one of the other linebackers, they were supposed to blitz, but they chose to just ignore the call and drift back into coverage. How do you feel about that,
Yeah,
Mike?
I think you sent that to me. So Bethune revealed that.
Yeah, he said it on KNBR after the game.
I mean, that's I guess when you win, you can kind of say whatever you want. But if they had lost, he wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. That's kind of interesting to tell the media that you ignored a play call. I understand, like, obviously on offense making an audible or something. I've just never heard that before, I don't think. Granted, when I saw that post that you sent me about that, I genuinely thought maybe teams should do that more. like as
Rush
an
only
actual
2 or
defensive play
rush
call.
3.
Yeah, just rush like 2 or 3, probably 2, and just especially against like mobile quarterbacks, like just have the edge defenders or even bring in some linebackers, put them on the edge, and then have them back out to the soft like zones on the perimeter, and just don't let the quarterback run. And then also they're in front of any potential like out routes or anything like that. Like they can't throw in that direction. They have to look middle of the field or deep. And you have extra defenders in the front, so now you can be more space aware deeper, with the safeties and corners if you're playing zone. Like you can't really pass against that unless you have a world beating receiver, um, or somebody just blows coverage. But I I would say the only option at that point is if you're not on the goal line, like dumping it off to a running back and just hoping he makes a move against a linebacker or the edge defender.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
interesting.
We're getting flooded with comments here. I will sort through some of my friends are in here, definitely commenting, but Sam did have a good question for you. I guess before we move
Mm.
on to 49ers versus Seahawks, he says, this question is for Mike. Do you think that the Broncos are a fraud team in the AFC West? Sam is a Chargers
I
fan,
am.
by the way.
Oh, excellent. Uh, by the way, I'm pretty sure we've played Xbox before. I feel like has he ever played Civ?
I think so. Hey, Sam, have you played Civ with us?
Dude, this was years ago. Maybe he was just in a party. We were playing something else. I don't know. But
No, yeah, I think he played Civ with us.
okay,
Civ Revolution. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Well, what's up, Sam? Um, yeah, they feel like frauds, and I'm a bona fide Broncos hater. I don't hate Bo Nix. Uh, I shouldn't say I like him, but as a quarterback, I think he's fine, but he's also not like he didn't progress into this like amazing quarterback. I think he might be a better fantasy quarterback than he is actual quarterback. Um, and also he has Sean Payton, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and also they have a really good defense. Like I think the Broncos just benefited from a really oddly weak AFC. Like weak, yeah. I just plain and simply like a pretty fucking weak AFC. Um, and just having a pretty well balanced team. Like they don't have a killer offense. They also don't have like this killer defense that they used to have, but they still have good defense and good offense. Probably pretty good play calling to go with that, good coaching. Um, but that being said, that Jaguars game a week or two ago screams they're going to be I guess, technically second round exit if they're the 1 seed.
I don't think that the
Uh,
Broncos are a fraud. I don't think they're a fraudulent team because that defense is so good. But I think that their offense, and funny enough, Logan is in the comments and he pointed this out to me, and I couldn't agree more. Their offense doesn't scream, we want to outscore you. Their offense is just, we want to keep the ball away from you.
yeah, I obviously they drafted RJ Harvey. You know what? They lost maybe
Dobbins.
that was part of their problem was maybe when they lost Dobbins, they kind of lost a little bit of their offensive momentum cuz they were running the ball a lot with him. I kind of forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, they definitely do seem like that team that just wants to, you know, own the time of possession and their defense will get it done, you know. But I just think they'll play a team like the Jags or maybe a better defense like the Texans. Who's another? Oh, the Bills. Yikes. Who's the 7th seed? Is it? I guess is the Texans. Sorry.
No, Texans won their division, right?
I think so. Who's the
No,
other team?
no, the Jags are in that division,
Oh,
aren't they?
yeah, the Jags. The Jags have. I think yes. Okay, the Texans are the 7th seed. They just got in by beating the Chargers. Sorry. Um, and the Chargers are the like 5 seed or 6 seed, whatever they are. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, to to his point or to his question, like I would say the reason why I would call them a fraudulent 1 seed is because usually this season is just weird. Usually the 1 seed, at least from like the past 10, 20 years that I've known, is like the 1 seed is just this dominant fucking team. You know? It's like the Patriots of old, the Chiefs, right? You had these teams that just went on dynasty runs damn near, or those two teams, yes. Or teams like the Ravens and the Steelers, like these other powerhouse teams that are always there. The Packers with Aaron Rodgers, like just always being the 1 seed and like powerhouse. Gonna be tough to beat them. Like this Broncos team doesn't feel like that. To his point.
Hmm. I don't know what's going on with the comments today. I think, my friends were on Discord and found out I was live and decided to flood the comments. But Kenny 49ers brings up, it always feels, or it always seems like a few times Ricky Pearsall plays, he gets 140 receiving yards. I know he doesn't. It just feels that way. Yeah, Pearsall did have a really good game. I know that I mentioned the block, but he had 5 catches for 85 yards. Still hasn't gotten a touchdown this year, I think. But, I mean, he was at least healthy enough to suit up and play in a game where they needed him. So, Logan says, I'd be mad as hell to be a Raider fan. Well, luckily you're not, Logan. Kenny 49er says, it's not easy. John Madden made it easy. Mike is waiting
I'm
for the
sure.
next John Madden. The next John Madden
Yeah.
is actually going to be Nicolas Cage. Literally.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Benji says, any words on Vince Wilfork? Benji doesn't really watch football, but he knows Vince Wilfork for
Nice.
reasons.
Words on Vince Wilfork. He has great overalls.
Yeah, and that Sports Illustrated magazine was pretty cool. 49er Media says, good evening, Josh and Mike. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and have a great New Year's. You too, man. Honestly, I really appreciate that. I know last week we weren't able to go live and talk about the Colts game and, the very exciting Raider game. But,
I mean, at that time, it was the
very
Texans
close.
game. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny 49ers agrees with you. He has cool overalls. Broncos can't score enough, but they score enough. Does that make sense? It does.
Yeah. No,
They're-
yeah, that's how they
yeah.
feel. It does feel like they've just squeaked out the 1 seed somehow.
Mm-hmm. Civ Rev was my jam, says Kenny 49ers.
Wow.
Dude, that game,
yeah.
that game is so good.
Yeah.
Damn, now I want to play Civ. Mike, are we gonna end the pod right now and do a Civ game and then go to work? If we started now,
impossible.
if we started now, we would probably finish in time to go to work in the morning.
I think we would probably finish at 3 a.m. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we definitely finish before work starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, I think I'm gonna go to work early tomorrow. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, so I can make it home in time for
yeah, perfect timing.
Stranger Things.
Dude, how did we decide one day, hey, let's play a game that takes 8 hours? And, like...
That was all you.
Yeah. I do remember one of us did not like it.
And it wasn't me either.
Yeah, it wasn't him. And it wasn't me. So we had a lot of fun. Oh, Mike and I did.
Yeah.
Logan says, "Hey Josh, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad are the Chargers? 1 being just bad and 10 being hecking terrible."
Nice.
Uh, they're not bad, but just for the exercise, I'll give it a 2. 2, my lord.
Yeah, I'd say their team is a 1. Their offensive line is a 10.
That makes sense. Kamani Vidal filled in very nicely. Yes, he did. He did. I've always thought highly of Kamani Vidal. I just want that to make that abundantly clear, because when I try and throw him into trades, all of a sudden I'm colluding.
Not colluding, but he did fill in nicely. And I also actually liked him in the draft that year too. So
Yeah. Benji says, "Who do you think the 49ers should trade for Jerry Rice? Man is still in his prime." See, that just goes to show. Benji's stuck in the 80s and the 90s.
trying to think of like who's the most hated player on the team right now.
On what team? The Niners?
Yeah.
Most
He
hated?
doesn't really have.
That's a
He
good
doesn't really
question.
have a player like that right now. Is it like I know Spencer Burford is a guy that I think some people maybe don't like.
No,
Right?
he's playing decently right now.
Okay.
Oh, Brandon Ayuk.
Oh. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a question. Oh my god.
Yeah,
We
most
just
hated.
forgot that he was on the team.
Yeah. Dude, did you
Yeah.
see the clip of the Warriors showing like the Niner score on I think it was Monday Night Football last week, and then they pan to a fan who was wearing a jersey, and then he turns around and it's an Ayuk jersey, and the crowd starts booing.
Ha!
They went from
Yeah,
cheering on the
that's
Niners, and then like the dude stands up with the number 11 jersey, turns around, boo! Like
no.
it's funny. Oh, faithful hate Jake Brendel. Yeah, he's probably next in line.
That's probably who I was thinking.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I don't hate him. I just think that we could upgrade at center. The Niners have a way of getting open. They use their tight ends the correct way. That's why they can win. Yeah, Jake Tonjes had a really good game too.
Tonjes has stepped up every time he needs to.
Hey, Mike.
He's a good depth tight end. Yeah.
John Guerrero tunes in and asks this
Yeah,
question.
the answer is no.
Okay.
But go ahead, ask anyways. I mean, do you think that I was going to say, like, oh, actually, let me think about it?
Okay, so what if the Raiders win this upcoming Sunday and then get out of quarterback range and Mac Jones could be available? Like, let's just say the trade wasn't Max Crosby for Mac Jones straight up. Like, if it was Max Crosby for Mac Jones, a first and a second, is the answer still no?
Yeah.
Okay, have fun losing.
Yeah, I just, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know we're still talking Niners, but, like, I'm not taking a rental quarterback. There's another quarterback that's been thrown out there in trade talks, and we'll get to that, I guess, if I remember. And I'm just like, why? Why would this Raiders team go for any veteran quarterback? It doesn't make any sense for the makeup of a franchise. That's so stupid. To give up assets for a veteran quarterback, unless his name is Patrick Mahomes, or who's like clear-cut second best quarterback in the league. Is there even, I guess, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
If it's Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, yes, you trade for him. Otherwise, I'm probably not. Not Joe Burrow, not Lamar Jackson. That's the guy people are throwing out there. They're too old or they're too pricey for a team that needs to completely rebuild practically. And
Yeah.
Mac Jones isn't even a guaranteed, like chances are with my luck, they'll hire some dumbass coach and Mac Jones will go back to looking like Patriots Mac Jones or worse.
Yeah. Sam puts it right. He says Mac Jones is not winning if you put him on the Raiders, and he'll be the next Jimmy Garoppolo, the next Geno Smith of like, oh hey, he played very good at the last place he was at, and it's gonna work out, and then it doesn't work out. Kenny 49ers with another Civ reference. He says, "I'm a Jaguar warrior of the Aztec people. Fear my regeneration." That's all. I also picked the Aztecs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that game
Aztecs
too.
are a good one.
And he also says Mac Jones, Brandon Ayuk, and 2 second rounders. Come on, Mike. Now we've upped the ante a little bit, okay?
So this is for Crosby. My thing with Crosby is like I need first round picks.
Brandon Ayuk was a first round pick. Mac Jones was a first round pick.
Oh wow. Galaxy braining it. I gotcha.
Yep. Two first, 2
2
seconds. That's more than what Micah Parsons went for.
Yeah. No, I mean obviously this is half a joke, I think. But yeah, if the Raiders do trade Crosby, which I don't fully think they will, but if they did, you have to get you have to get first round picks, multiple. And I guess the point here is just trading Crosby, a veteran, like game-changing defender, for, again, this is where I'm saying like I think this is a joke. Like Mac Jones and Brandon Ayuk. What is the actual point in that? Like that screams, okay, we'll go from a 2-win team to a 5-win team at best. What does that really do for us in the long term? Whereas you can just either trade Crosby for multiple firsts, and then you can get young offensive linemen on rookie contracts, a new receiver, a new corner, so on and so forth. Pair that with your first overall pick quarterback. Anyways.
Last question, then we'll move on. Logan asks, do you think Brock Purdy is a better quarterback compared to Herbert? I think Purdy is better, says Logan. Are you waiting for me to answer? Because no, I think Herbert is better.
Yeah, I think as a pure passer, and when you look at traits, and I think mostly on film, it's clearly Herbert. But I will say that touchdown to Juszczyk was so goddamn impressive.
Yeah.
The way that he just made the two defenders look like idiots in space. And then, instead of running it in, throwing it to Juszczyk the moment the defender came towards him. Like, this is the ongoing joke with Chris Collinsworth, is like, oh, it looked like Patrick Mahomes. But, like, actually, that was 100% a Patrick Mahomes play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like, Purdy has that capability, and not specifically to beat Pat Mahomes, but to have those types of plays and to play really good and efficiently. That's why he got paid the way that he did. And the thing that I thought to myself the past 2 weeks watching the Colts game and this Bears game is, there is the guy that Mac Jones cannot be.
Yeah.
That is why Purdy gets paid this much. And I think a lot of people see all that, and some people will go, well, then the Niners should trade Mac Jones and get a haul or whatever. I think this season, and I've said this in the past, like, between developing quarterbacks and just acquiring, not like you have to trade for them, but just like in the offseason signing a guy like Mac Jones or before Sam Darnold and so on and so forth, having backup quarterbacks is so valuable. The fact that you have another year on his contract, like, you don't need to trade him and try to get a second-round pick or something. I know some people think, like, oh, we can get a first-round pick for Mac Jones. I don't think so.
Also,
I really don't think so.
You probably
but
just
this season proves.
You probably
sorry,
just want
the fact. So sorry. The fact you guys are in play for the 1 seed, without Mac Jones, you might not be a playoff team.
Yep.
That's why having a backup is so invaluable. So, like, trying to trade him for a second round pick, I guarantee you the Niners will not trade him. I guarantee it. This
Yeah.
season proves why you have to have a good backup.
Yeah. I was about to say the same thing. Like, if it weren't for Mac Jones, we wouldn't be battling for the 1 seed right now.
Yep.
So, real quick on the note that you mentioned about the whole Chris Collinsworth, Patrick Mahomes thing. Did you see that TikTok I sent earlier of the dude doing stand up in front of a crowd of Chris Collinsworth's?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna play it. Hopefully it goes through the mic. I find it just freaking hilarious. Hold on.
It's perfect.
Hold on. Let me know if you can hear it.
Babe, you don't need to wear such a sexually arousing outfit to the gym. Could you take off the Patrick Mahomes jersey?
There's just a bunch of Chris Collinsworths laughing.
Yes, dude. Oh man. So let's talk about the game that we are all waiting for. I've personally been waiting for this game all year because I want to see the 49ers wear those black uniforms because I'm just curious on how it looks on the football field. It's very sad that Fred Warner and Nick Bosa are not going to be wearing those jerseys, but man, that's another thing too. Fred Warner might come back in a couple weeks if the 49ers are still in it. You know? It is so huge if the 49ers are able to win this game. I'm not going to spend too much on this topic. The Seahawks ruined my childhood, football-wise. They put me through so much torture. I'm just hoping that the 49ers can return the favor for the 2020s and honestly for the rest of time. You know, I wouldn't even mind if that's just the payback of like, you know, the Niners just make the Seahawks suffer over and over. But really, at the end of the day, the only thing that I care about is the 49ers being able to win a Super Bowl. And right now, their best chance at winning a Super Bowl is winning this Sunday, having nothing but home games through a potential Super Bowl that they might make. Like this could be it, Mike. And I know Niner fans will pay the money to go to this game. I don't think it'll matter who they're playing in the AFC. I think it would be like predominantly 49er fans in the stands. I think it would be like another home game for the Niners.
When do Super Bowl tickets go on sale? Is it the moment we know who's in it, or is it like weeks to months before?
They might be on
Because
sale
I know a
now.
lot of, yeah, I know a lot of tickets are like teams give them away or this or that. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the tickets are already available, in part because like for how expensive the tickets are. I mean, you're it's not only a vacation, it's a vacation and a fucking half just for the tickets alone. But you also have to, if you're traveling cross country or something, like you have to plan that ahead of time. Like it's not like you can only do that on 2 weeks notice. Like getting a flight, like that's where I wonder how much it will be. But I'm sure a lot of resale, to your point, there's probably a lot of resale, and that's where the Niner fans will be like, at home, the super fuck yeah, like oh yeah,
Yeah, you don't even have to travel. Like
yeah.
that would be insane. If the Niners win the Super Bowl this year, dude, this like I just can't. I can't, dude. Like I've been waiting for it, and I've seen literally all these superstars, you know, on this team, and like us having the best team, however many years, and it doesn't get done, and then just the most injured or injury-prone year, and like us not expecting it. Like if we win and just like have this like nonstop offense, and Kyle keeps calling, you know, the games the way that he does. We don't have Brandon Ayuk anymore. We don't have Deebo Samuel. Oh my God, dude! Imagine if they win, and if they win in spite of not having Ayuk as like a big middle finger to him on the way out.
I would have to imagine he would get a ring though.
He would, but he'd probably pawn it off or
Oh,
sell
for
it.
sure, immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, because
You'd
I'm
have to get
sure
some of that money back.
he wanted to be a champion, but it seems like he doesn't want to play. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with him, but like if it is something mental health wise, I have nothing but prayers for him and wish him nothing but the best. But like, you know, if it's just that he just doesn't enjoy being here, like I'm sorry, I can't really empathize for you. You signed a massive contract after you made such a big deal. You didn't have to sign the contract. They were going to trade you to Pittsburgh. Like, you know. But another thing I will say is I'm trying to remember. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. It's about
Super Bowl at home.
Super Bowl at home, Seahawks.
Debo.
I lost it, man. You see, the thought of winning the Super Bowl just trumps all. How do you think that this game's going to go, Mike?
Well, it is in Santa Clara, so you definitely have that going for you. I don't know. It's another one of those games. It's a divisional game, but it's just another one of those games where it's like, I don't think there's a wrong answer. You know, it's not like, oh, it's clearly the Niners are in favor, and like picking them is so contrarian, or picking the Seahawks is so contrarian. Like, I think it could really go either way, and when you watch the game, the way that it goes will probably make sense. It'll be one of two things: either the Seahawks get one too many turnovers against the Niners offense, Purdy, whoever, and the Seahawks offense is just efficient and they outscore you guys. Or once again, 3 weeks in a row, the offense for the Niners is just perfect, and those one or two stops that the Niners get on defense is the difference of the game. I feel like it's probably one of those two things. I shouldn't say perfect, but like, damn near perfect. The Niners offense right now. Because he did, Purdy did have that pick six to start the game against the Bears. Which is crazy to consider when you see the finale of the final score and the final play almost, going in the Bears' favor. Like, it's crazy that it all started with a pick six.
Yeah, I remembered what I was going to say. So you were mentioning
Yes.
Super Bowl tickets and like teams giving away tickets and all this. I wanted to give a quick shout out. So, Mike, we went to the same high school. Do you remember Miss Zimmerman? Did you ever have Miss Zimmerman?
I definitely didn't have her. I mean, the name I do recall. I'd have to look at the yearbook or something. If you showed me like her face, I'd probably be like, oh yeah.
Okay. Well, so she was married to one of my basketball coaches. I had Ms. Zimmerman as, freshman English. So married to one of my basketball coaches, Coach Shelton, and they had a kid, and he would always be at our like basketball practices, like, here and there, just kind of making an appearance. And so he was like this kid, holding a toy, maybe like an iPad, like, blanket. And then so I came to like the past two alumni games for Arroyo. Mike, come on. I went to the alumni games. You're doing it again, dude. Grow up. Grow up, Mike. Okay. Jesus. This guy. I can't say anything. All right. I went to the past
No, it
two.
wasn't you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. I went to the last two alumni games the past 2 years. Do you know who the quarterback was of those teams?
Was it Miss Zimmerman's son?
It was Ms. Zimmerman's son, and he was playing very well, right? He was like I watched a little bit of the game with Coach Shelton, his dad. He was like recording, and I was like, yeah, he kind of reminds me a little bit like a right-handed Kyler Murray, because he's not too tall, but he's like very shifty and like, or actually no, left-handed Kyler Murray. I think he's left-handed.
I thought Kyler was left-handed. I don't know.
No, Tua's left-handed.
I guess
Kyler's right-handed. Yeah. And so, kind of reminded me of Kyler Murray. And I mentioned this on the pod because I see on Instagram the 49ers do, I guess they started an award. I think it's an inaugural, award where this might be the first time that they're doing it. That's what inaugural means, right? First time.
Maybe.
Okay.
I forget. Why do I forget?
I'm pretty sure inaugural means the first time. So they're doing the Tony York Award, So it has to do something with the Yorks. And I see this picture of Ms. Zimmerman's son meeting Jed York, and he I guess won the award, the Tony York Award, and he's at the Niner game, and they gave him Super Bowl tickets. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. So I did see this post. I just didn't know that he was the son of a Arroyo teacher, but I did see that he was in Arroyo football gear.
Yeah.
And he's the quarterback. So that's why I put two and two together when you said, guess what? He's the quarterback of, or whatever you said. Or who the quarterback is. But yeah.
So that's awesome. So shout out to him. Shout out to the 49ers for looking into like San Lorenzo, like I wouldn't think that Arroyo would be on their radar, So
yeah,
I thought that's really cool. He met Jed York.
Yeah, I remember when the Raiders were in the Bay Area, they used to do something where they literally had a Raider like van, and every year they would. I don't know what it was, but it was obviously revolving around like high school or youth football.
It's Coach of the Week.
Maybe, yeah.
They would do high school Coach of the Week. Coach Sullivan won Coach of the Week one time when we beat SLZ, and we got to meet a Raider legend and the Raiderettes.
Who was the legend?
Well, I don't know if he was like a legend or if he was just on a Super Bowl team. I'm not a Raider fan, so his name was either Morris Bradshaw or I'm pretty sure it was Morris Bradshaw. Let me see. And he had a Super Bowl ring on. And I remember I asked him, "Hey, when do I get one of those?" Morris Bradshaw, Raiders. Yeah, Morris Bradshaw. So Morris Bradshaw was an American professional football player who was the wide receiver in the National Football League, primarily for the Oakland Raiders. He played college for the Ohio State Buckeyes and was selected by the Raiders in the 4th round of the 1974 draft. 93rd overall.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls with them.
Yeah.
And he just passed away this past January.
Did he?
Yeah.
Damn.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. It's nice to meet him. But yeah, no, I mean that day was cool. And then I just remember like my teammates and Julio being like, yeah, I want to take a picture with all these cheerleaders. Like I'm trying to get their number. To the Raiderettes, dude. Like we're in high school as if like they're gonna be able to spit game at the Raiderettes.
Yeah. God damn it, Julio.
It wasn't just Julio though. Like that clique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alfonso.
Yeah. Although I don't think Alfonso, was one of the ones saying that. He was definitely part of that like group. you know.
Group of guys, yeah.
But it was just funny. But yeah, predictions, Mike. Who's going to win?
Oh, sorry. I'm having a tough time. My brain says Seahawks, but my, I guess, heart says Niners because they're at home. And they just kind of have the momentum. But also the Seahawks also do have momentum. Between, beating the Rams 2 weeks ago on Sunday or Monday Night Football, and then I guess it was probably Sunday. And then this past week they beat the Panthers. Grrr. Because that Rams game was really impressive to me on the Seahawks part. Are the Niners favored? I see young Mantha's comment right there.
I don't know.
Is that Sam?
I don't know who's favored. Yeah, that's Sam.
I
God, I don't know, Jim.
Yeah. My brain is going Seahawks. I'm picking the Niners. I think you guys pull it out, and somehow, because that's just how it goes, you guys will pull out that 1 seed.
Okay. I want to talk about one factor that has not been discussed, and I think is a big factor. If it rains hard in Santa Clara on Saturday night, the Niners don't. This team is not a rain team. And the Seahawks, I think, have played in the rain.
Oh. Yeah,
If
it's going to start pouring on Wednesday. And just all the way through it's a whole week straight of rain. At least San Leandro.
Yeah. If the rain is a substantial factor, I will pick the Seahawks to win. And if not, then the 49ers. I'm going to take the Niners. I wouldn't be shocked if they find a way to win, but I've seen it too many times where this team cannot play in the rain. Just 2 years ago, or was it last year? It was just last year. They had a game against the Rams. It was a must-win game at Levi's, and it was raining, and they scored like 3 points.
Yeah, the rain is a good point. I'm flipping to the Seahawks, not just because of the rain, but now I'm just thinking of like the defensive matchups, and I'm like, the Seahawks offense has been good all year, and again, that Rams game really impressed me, but their defense is so damn good. Like, you guys haven't faced a defense like this in a while, And then you throw in the weather, like I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. It's so close though. Like I said, my heart says Niners, like at home, the hype, the just you guys being the hot team right now, But I'm going Seahawks.
Kyle, practice with a wet ball. Please. I don't get it, Mike. How do they not practice with a wet football?
There's a joke in there somewhere.
No, there's no joke. I don't know why that they don't practice with a wet football. Like, I just genuinely don't. All right, last thing that I find interesting is if the 49ers do happen to somehow make it all the way to the Super Bowl, do you know that they're not going to be able to practice at their practice field?
Wow.
Because they would be the away team.
Where would they practice? Is there a designated away practice?
Arroyo High School. No, just kidding. Dude, if they did, I'm telling you, I'll be there.
It's funny how like different the NFL is now, because my dad's literally told me stories of when he was like in high school or whatever. I don't know if it was when they were in LA or in Oakland, because I know he would go to LA for like the whole weekend or whatever. But there were times where like the Raiders would just be practicing nonchalantly at like high schools, or even the players in a like players only, not Raiders practice, but just like players working out. Like there would just be a bunch of Raider players like working out at high schools and shit. Like that does not happen.
That's
You'll see the TikToks here and there, but not during the
that's
season.
that's how I came across Colin Kaepernick. He and Eric Reed were just working out at Cal State East Bay, and one of my
What
friends.
team were they playing for?
This was after.
That's what I mean. Just like live on rostered players, like they'll just be at the facility. Like that's just how facilities are now, And probably there's maybe even writing in contracts. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So.
Whereas back in the 70s and 80s, like they would just fucking go to the park.
Meanwhile, I'm just bird watching for Patrick Mahomes.
But now this game's gonna be crazy. This weekend's got a couple crazy games. I don't know why they put it on Saturday. I don't know why they did that.
I don't get it. And the 49ers they're on 2 short weeks in a row. They played Monday night.
Monday night game. Yeah.
And Sunday night.
Sunday night to it's Saturday. Yeah. I mean, the Seahawks are on practically the same time frame, plus they're the ones that have to travel.
Yeah, but they only have to travel now because we traveled earlier this season. Like, kind of evens out.
Yeah. But you guys won that first game. I'm just saying, you guys have those 3 hours less of rest, if you will, because you played on Sunday Night Football. But the Seahawks are probably going to lose 3 hours plus from the flight anyways. Not that it's a 3-hour flight, but also just getting ready for the flight and shit.
Yeah, but I hate when people are like, "Oh, the Seahawks have a disadvantage. They have to travel." It's like, yes, stupid, because the Niners had to travel earlier this season. They play twice. Like.
Right. I think they just mean for this game.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like as if the NFL screwed Seattle into making them travel.
Yeah, no, it's not a disadvantage like that one year, the Niners versus Chiefs Super Bowl with the practice facilities. Where you guys were like outside in flooding rain and the fucking Chiefs were in the Raiders facility. Like that was a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the disadvantage, and then I don't know. The Niners playing at during COVID at Arizona, University of Arizona, because they got kicked out of Levi's.
Yeah. I promise I'm listening. I have to put a jacket on. I'm cold as shit.
Dude, it's cold. But here, I'm going to do something cool here. We're going to be moving on to our next topic. I'm going to introduce Mike because the Raiders, they lost. But we can assure you they have won. I'm doing a drum roll, Mike. I'm waiting for you to turn your video back on. Tell us about it, Mike. Getting ready.
Hold on, I'm naked.
All right, that's it. No more drum roll for you.
Yeah. Oh.
Mike took us in the restroom, apparently. Wow, look at him.
Oh. Now I'm comfy.
Dude, as cold as you probably think it's in your room, the sunroom is colder and my freaking legs are frozen.
I can imagine, dude. I got inside the house, probably 2.5 hours ago, and I saw the thermostat said like 57 degrees in the house, which is probably worse than your sunroom.
Hey, it would be hella funny if you turned that thermostat and then your grandpa came through the front door, like, and was like, "Who touched the damn thermostat?"
Yeah. So yes, the Raiders are coming off of 2 games since our last pod. They narrowly lost the Texans game 2 weeks ago. I don't know what that was all about. The Texans have, if not the top, then the second best defense in the league. I would say probably the best defense, I'm pretty sure. And Ashton Janty just ran all over him. I don't know what that was about. Like, he showed what we all know that he has, you know? I don't know if the Raiders were just blocking better, or maybe if coming out of the Eagles game, Janty heard some of the slander, if you will, of, oh, he's not breaking off, these open field tackles. And then he goes and faces the best defense in the league and just goes ham. I also think it's a little interesting that, like, I mean, now where we are post Giants game and everything that went into that Giants game, like, I wasn't thinking that the Raiders were tanking until the week leading up to the Giants game. And I just find it funny that the Raiders played their hardest since, I don't know, probably the Bears game and the Titans game earlier this season. The Titans, they won. The Bears game was a close one. Really good game. Another game where Gianti just went off. They played their hearts out against the Texans and gave me a heart attack because I thought we were going to beat them and lose our shot at the number 1 pick. But they lost, and maybe it was at that point when the Raiders were 2-13 or whatever the fuck, that Pete Carroll went, "Oh, okay, we're not going to make the playoffs. Okay, well, Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, you guys should go to the IR now." I don't know. I want to say Bowers did get hurt in the Texans game. I genuinely don't know to what capacity. I watched a lot of the game. I don't know why I'm forgetting. I don't know if you know.
Was it
but
a
it didn't
knee?
seem like. I hope not. I don't think
Or
so.
an ankle?
I don't think it was. Maybe it was an ankle. Let me just search it up real quick. I might as well, right? Brock. I don't know if you've got something while I search it.
Yeah, it was very entertaining the past week to see the Giants and the Raiders. Like, it was like a war of, like, a tank war, where, like, not like war tanks. I'm actually realizing how confusing that may sound, but it was like a trade war, like that kind of war where the Raiders were putting players out, like Brock Bowers and, like you said, Max Crosby, and then the Giants would just respond with, "Oh, we're benching our offensive line," like,
Yeah.
and it was just going back and forth. It was like, I don't know, like both teams were just, we really don't want to win this game. It was the episode of South Park where the kids are trying to lose the baseball game because they don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
So,
It was weird.
I've never seen
okay,
anything
sorry.
like it, and it was entertaining.
Yeah, the entire week leading up, it felt like the game started on like Monday, the week prior, when they started putting players in IR, and now this player's questionable with a finger injury on the Giants' fucking injury report. A finger injury. What are we doing? I was like, this is so clear. Brock Bowers, he's on IR because of a knee injury, which it probably actually is a knee injury, but against the Texans, he played 98% of snaps, 5 targets, 5 catches, 33 yards, a touchdown. That doesn't sound like a major injury to me. This sounds like a nagging knee injury that's been going on since week 1 when he got hurt against the Patriots. Now, nobody questioned Brock Bowers going to IR for some reason. nobody in the media talked about Bowers. They're just like, yep, the Raiders are sending Bowers to IR. That was like a day or two prior to Crosby. Nobody said shit. And I was sitting there like, what fucking injury? And then they put Crosby on IR. And bear in mind, I probably said on this pod a few weeks ago that they should do it. Maybe I did. I know for a fact I was thinking it, and if you could ask my dad, he would tell you I've been saying for weeks that they should shut Max Crosby down. Because of our draft position potential, but also it was like every week he'd be questionable and he'd sit out the first 2 practices of the week because of a nagging knee injury. And I'm like, dude, for one, on the offset chance, and this is not my main reason, but just off the offset chance that they could trade Crosby this offseason. You want your biggest trade asset to possibly tear his ACL? No. But more than that, and I think the real thing is just move on to next year. And we don't want Crosby coming off a fucking major injury next year. We want him ready to go week 1 and hopefully be competitive next year. Do I think they will be? I kind of doubt it, but I'd rather him be healthy and not have this week in, week out, got to drain the knee this week shit. That's ridiculous to me. And it just, you have your 2 best players are playing on nagging knee injuries. Like, no, I don't like it. The reason why people were all up in arms and saying, oh, the Raiders are clearly tanking, Crosby wasn't even hurt, was because of the way that Crosby reacted. And bear in mind, it doesn't shock me. And to me, it's not a bad thing. I think it was also Jay Glazer's reporting of like, he has since left the building. Like, he made it as dramatic as possible. Like, I was sitting there like, well, he's demanding a trade.
He's left the building. It's like, well, do these players not fucking go home? Like,
well, yeah, that's the thing is when a player's put on IR, like, I thought a lot of the time they don't even like stay with the team. They don't travel with the team, like shit like that. Like, depending on, maybe it's if you're on IR before the season. I don't know, but or maybe it's season-ending IR. You don't travel with the team. I'm not sure, but
like,
regardless,
I just don't understand like why it was reported that way. Like, and Max Crosby has left the building. Like, attention everybody, Max Crosby has left the building. I repeat, Max Crosby has left the building. Like, okay, all right. Like, I get that he was upset, but I feel like that was the first time that I ever saw it reported that way. And, all right, do you mind if I jump in real quick? Because I do have, like, thoughts on it.
yeah.
I think the Raiders are right to shut Max Crosby down, and they should have done it sooner.
I'd say the same on Brock Bowers. Now knowing that it's the
Yeah.
same knee injury, yeah.
They should have done it sooner. Also, I want to say shout out to Frank, who's in the comments tuning in. We're at your Raider section, so good on you for tuning in at the right time. Excuse me. Cheers. I really wonder. So the way that I think Crosby is handling it, which this is how outspoken and all the reports, are. It's that Crosby feels that he is a football player, so he wants to play football. He doesn't believe in that tank bull crap. It's bull crap to him because he just wants to win.
The week prior, he literally told the media, like, I don't give a shit about the pick. I play to win.
Yeah. Well, newsflash, Max. If you ever want to win, you need a quarterback, and they don't grow on trees. Unless, you want to stay and just run it back with Aiden O'Connell and Geno Smith, like, more power to you. Good luck trying to win a Super Bowl. But you need to get a guy who has, like, traits to be a top-tier quarterback in the NFL.
A game changer.
I get that you're competitive, but you also have to be smart and competitive.
Yeah.
but there's the other side of this where I'm like, all right, Max Crosby isn't going to be dominant forever. And I'm sure that he does want to win a Super Bowl or does want to be a part of like a winning team, and he's just never really had that besides the Rick Bazakia year or Rich Bazakia year. So I almost wonder too if because he is like the heart and soul of the Raider fans right now. Like he's the only player that like keeps Raider fans, I guess, coming back, and he's aware of it. Like I wonder if part of it is like, look, dog, I'm not gonna last forever. By the time the Raiders figure it out, I might not be as. I mean, I'm sure he has an ego enough to think that like, he is gonna last forever. You kind of have to have that as an athlete and not think about like, oh, I'm getting old. But I wonder if he's like, I'm tired of the constant like losing, and this is my way out. Like I'm sure it rubbed him the wrong way that they made the decision for him of you're not playing. And then he made that very
Right.
clear when he posted the video of him playing basketball after the reports came out that they were shutting him down. He made that very clear. I think what rubbed him the wrong way, they probably didn't even approach him about it. They're just like, yeah, dude, you're fucking done. Like, and he's like, the fuck I am. I'm playing Sunday. And they're like, no, you're not. We're placing you on IR. You had a good season. Come back next year. And he's like,
It
it probably rubbed him the wrong way. But I wonder
it
too
was
if like
probably
it
very
upset him
abrupt.
so much, and this is his way out of like the fan base is not going to be mad at him. This is his opportunity to get the fan base mad at the Raiders for making him leave. And then he gets to go to a team who's actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible. And if he does demand a trade come the off season or March or whenever that would be, this would definitely be solid grounds for that. As far as the person that he is and stuff. Um,
Can the Raiders
for
just
one,
release him now? And then can he
yeah, a team
sign?
like the Niners could really use him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't put him on IR. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna trade him, better yet, can the NFL like just let us trade him right now? Just like kind of bend the rules a little bit. The Niners can win. We can win. We get some picks. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to trade him like that. I think that trading him might help with a rebuild. It very well could. My problem with that is the Raiders' track record in drafting players in the first round. At that rate, just keep Max Crosby. But if things are going to change with John Spytek and he actually is really good at drafting, okay, I'll see you through with that. It just, to your point, Max Crosby isn't going to last forever. And I don't know when the fuck the Raiders are going to be good again, but I'm hoping that getting the quarterback in the draft is going to speed that process up drastically. To the point where, let's say in 3 years, we're a legitimate playoff contender to the point of not Super Bowl contender, but just we are in the playoffs 3 years from now. Crosby should still be, he's like 28 right now? Like he'll still be very good, if not still great.
Depends on the knee.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a small problem now, but if he's playing through it and it, like, he can fuck up his knee.
Yeah, I mean, if God, yeah. They did give him a nice pay raise this past offseason.
He had
For
knee
just being
surgery
the
this
guy that he is.
offseason, right?
I know he had at least one, if not two surgeries. And when I say two, I mean on like two different things. Like, I don't know if it's like a shoulder. I forget what he had last year. You might
There
be
was
right. I
there
don't
was
know.
a picture of him in a hospital bed with like his leg all
I
wrapped
thought it was
up.
his ankle.
No.
Yeah, I'd have to look back on it. But regardless, I mean, if they do think that he has something more serious going on, it's like week by week, man, this guy and his knee. then maybe they should trade him. You know? But
Yeah.
that's a conversation for a later day, I'd say. What I will say to all this right now is I think if he didn't react at all, that would have been out of character for him. That would have came off to some people like he doesn't care too.
It was an
And I
ankle.
think okay. That's what I figured because he had an ankle injury. But yeah, I mean if Max Crosby gets put on IR when he's able to play, right, and play at a high level, like it's not like this knee injury is stopping him from playing every play and being Max Crosby as usual. It's not that. It's just that he needs extra days to recover because of this nagging knee injury. Um, and the Raiders probably felt to some capacity that was a little risky to keep him going out there when we don't need him to. Right? We're on track for the top pick. Somebody finally realized, you know what? Getting the top pick would be more beneficial to this team than beating the Giants, Max Crosby potentially getting more hurt, setting ourselves back. I also think, like to your point of like this could be a little bit of a strategic move for him of like this is his kind of foot going through the door of, well, this is my way out, and this is my reasoning, right? Not just demanding a trade because I'm this, for lack of a better term, douchebag player that just wants to win, or that's not really a douchebag thing at all, but just disgruntled player because the team doesn't change or something like that doesn't have a major reason. Like, oh, I'm getting paid hella good, but
Like the Ayuk situation a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit like Ayuk or like
AJ Brown.
Who was? Yeah, AJ Brown. Like if AJ Brown did well, but the Eagles are winning. Like that's kind of weird. He's just disgruntled because he's a receiver and he's not getting the ball thrown his way. Uh, I don't know. Didn't Trey Hendrickson request a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals? Like the thing with Crosby, if he demands a trade, it's like I think to some people might be, well, dude, who the fuck are you? Like obviously he's great, but like you're supposed to be the leader of this team. Like what? You're giving up? They're paying you top fucking dollar. They keep giving you raises every offseason. Like you really want to leave? Like I get you want to win, but you don't want to stay through the process and see this through. You don't want to be a Raider for life. Like what is that about? If he is that tired of it and now they do this abruptly and that pisses him off enough to be like, you know what? I want to get traded. I want to see the light of day on a winning team. I want to go to a team like the Bills or some shit. Or the Lions. I can see that where the reasoning was just needed for him. But I think truly what really happened was this was an abrupt decision, at least for him, to be presented to him, and he reacted emotionally.
Yes.
100%. Not only did he, and I don't blame him, not only did he post the videos of him playing basketball in his, home basketball court, and like I think
which has advertisements.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm a. I don't. I
I
don't
wonder
know.
if it's to simulate like a legit like if I'm playing at like a commercial thing
Or if
it
he
just
got the
comes that
building.
way.
Well, I wonder if he got it built and somehow had it sponsored. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, or if he has those sponsorships. I don't know. But he specifically did the like what would you call that move?
The
Like just
Euro
to
step.
yeah, like he did Euro steps and then shot 3-pointers. Like you didn't have to do that. Like that's just showing that your knee has bounce, and your knee looks fine. The other thing was that his wife, he reposted his wife's posts on Instagram, which weren't videos but pictures of him jumping on a trampoline. Like it's pretty obvious. You're just like, my knees are fine. Okay. Like I get it, you know. Um
Hey, how about this? What if the NFL goes in and investigates the Raiders, right? and they deemed that he was wrongfully put on IR, and then they lose draft picks, and then or get punished somehow, and they decide to keep Max Crosby.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that'd be a double whammy for him and me, and one of us would be considering just ending things.
That would be like the kid who grabs a pair of matches, or like finds a pair of matches and just lights his parents like envelope of cash on fire.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting it back. Hope it was worth it.
Yeah. God, what was I gonna say?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Oh well, like teams like the Chiefs are also shutting down players, like Rashee Rice. Like he has a concussion. He would totally be eligible to play this week, but they were just like, nah, let's shut him down, and I don't blame them. You know,
You might as well.
yeah, you might as well. You don't. Why risk? Like I think if they had shut him down week 6 and it was like, well, he was practicing. Like, what happened there? Then it'd be like, oh, they're taking. But the fact that it's like 2 weeks before the season ends, I'm fine with it. And I get it. And this is the other aspect to Crosby that I don't like. I could see where he's like pissed off is just not only as a competitor does he want to win, not only as a competitor does he want to be great every snap, every play, every rep, every time he practices, all that. Like he's an ultra uber competitor. I think with that, like I feel like his goals and most players' goals are to win the Super Bowl, to win as much as possible, and to have the best possible career that they can have. And with that would be being a Hall of Famer. I think a guy like him sees how real that possibility is if he continues for a long duration of time to be great. I think with that, you need the games, you need the snaps. To be a Hall of Famer, you got to put the numbers up. So to get shut down with 2 weeks where it's like, I could have played, I could have got sacks, tackles for loss, like, I could have put up some fucking numbers. Like, you're taking that away from me. I can see why that would piss him off. Not that he wants to stat pad, but just from an ultra competitive standpoint, I don't blame him. Plus the love of the game. Like, if you're healthy enough to play, like, when he's 40 years old or 35, whenever he retires, like he might think back on that and be like, I fucking wish I could have played in those games. I would do anything to play another snap, you know? Anyways.
Yeah.
That's all the Crosby talk.
I agree. I could see like I could have added more to my career stats,
Yeah.
or my season stats, like, because I get that too.
He's like, dude, the Giants were sitting their tackles. What the fuck, man? I was going to put up a monster game.
Yeah. Or, that would be like, imagine if the Browns decided to shut down Myles Garrett one game before he's about to break the record.
Oh, no way. No, I don't care if
you think it'll happen?
No. I think he'll get it, yeah.
You think so? You don't think that, like, the team that they're playing against is going to be an asshole so he doesn't get the record broken against them?
I want to say they're playing the Bengals. Like, he has a great shot.
Because they played the Steelers. I don't think he got a sack.
Maybe. Maybe.
And
I don't know. Yeah.
Myles Garrett said after the game that the Steelers played like a team that was more worried about not having the sack record broken against them than to actually win the game, because they were getting the ball out hella quick.
Yeah, it's probably a Rodgers thing too. But I mean, the Steelers had their shot to put away the division, and they lost to the Browns. Now they face the Ravens this upcoming week, and if they lose, they're just out of the playoffs. Like, you could have just put it away against the Browns, and you didn't.
9-8.
Okay. Yeah. Mike Tomlin got his 9 wins. He's checked out. He's already got his Cancun vacation booked one way or another.
Dude, I like that Mike Tomlin meme where he's like, like,
Yeah, the like look-alike guy.
Is that
Uh,
not Mike Tomlin?
I don't think it is. I don't think so. He just looks like him because he's got those like bug eyes. Um,
Oh my god,
so
it probably is not.
yeah, I'm pretty positive that's not him.
Are you,
Uh,
I
yeah, he
thought that
just
was
looks
Mike
a
Tomlin.
lot like him. That's just um this Giants game was nuts. The first half was a bit of a roller coaster for me because I was rooting so hard for the Giants in this game. Like this was the first week since probably week 3, maybe 4. Probably the Bears game, might have been week 5. This is probably the first time since around week 5 that I felt like a fan of a team. Rooting for the team to win the game, to score, clapping. Fuck yeah, like just hyped as fuck. On Sunday I was a New York Giants fan. And it was fun. But really I was just a Raider hater. Like in a loving respect. Like you need to get your ass beat right now to better yourself, in a maybe a brotherly or whatever type of way. Like that's the way I was looking at the Raiders, and I had a lot of fun on Sunday. But that first or second, whatever offensive, I think it was the first offensive drive for the Raiders. Geno Smith and company were just driving down the field, and I was like, this is gonna hurt.
And
This is
then
gonna hurt.
Geno Smith.
He threw that
He
pick,
threw
and
his
that
career
game,
away.
that the rest was history, 100%. Um, yeah, man, I can't believe it. Like, it's almost a slap in the face that they put Bowers and Crosby on IR. I think Jeremy Chin going to IR is kind of a big one too. He's been really good. Um, I feel like they did somebody else too, and I'm totally forgetting. But it was Bowers and Chin, and then it was Crosby. Um, and also like Colt Miller's been back at practice, but he didn't return for this game. I wonder if he comes back for the Chiefs game. But at this point, why risk it? Why bother? Right? Don't do it. But it's nice to have him at practice. Cool. Um. But the fact that they kept Geno in this game, like you could, if you're really going for the full blown tank, like you could bench Geno. You could say, you could tell the media, like here comes the tweet from Ian Rappaport. Breaking news. I don't know if he says breaking news, but developing. The Raiders are going to be starting Aiden O'Connell this week against the New York Giants. As the Raiders plan to move on this offseason from Geno Smith. Like, they can just make it clear cut. Like, yeah, we're moving on from him. This isn't working. We're going to start a different quarterback.
You don't want to do that. The reason why is because Geno has been playing so bad, and if the objective is to actually lose into tank, you don't want to risk having the players rally behind Aiden O'Connell. And then he messes around and wins that game.
And earlier in this pod, like at the beginning, I said, we'll bring up Aiden O'Connell again. I wonder if that's why we haven't seen him. Because we haven't. We've seen Geno and Kenny Pickett. I mean, Aiden O'Connell's been hurt for most of the year, I think. But then, like, he's been eligible to play the past couple weeks, and he's the emergency third-string quarterback. It's probably because Kenny Pickett's just been treated as the number 2. He's been probably taking snaps like the number 2. But, like, I saw, like, a pregame video of him, Aiden O'Connell, walking with A.J. Cole and Daniel Carlson. And I'm like, there's a fucking familiar face. Like, I just haven't thought of Aiden O'Connell. And it's like, what would this team look like with him? Would they be winning more? I don't know. But it's just so weird to me that he's completely just not there. And for a team this bad and the past seasons we've had in recent years, like the fact that Aiden O'Connell hasn't touched the ball is so odd to me when I think about it. Um,
They would be better.
and it's probably
The Raiders would be a better team with Aiden
I
O'Connell for the
I
simple
think
fact
so.
that he's not going to turn the ball over as much. One thing,
Yeah,
another thing I will say, they still wouldn't be a good football team because I do think with Gino you probably gain more yards, but just the
yeah,
turnovers, you'll lose every game.
yeah. Um, but it was just a thought that came across my mind this past weekend, where I was like, "Wow, there's a face I just forgot about." Um, he's a kind of wild card player for next year. Not that he's going to be the starter, but just you know, how is Gino going to play into this in the offseason? They're probably going to let Kenny Pickett walk. Like, Aiden O'Connell has another year on his contract. Assuming they get a new offensive staff, like, why re-sign Pickett when you have Aiden O'Connell on the roster? And then whatever they're owing, you know, Geno Smith, um, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But they lose this game handedly. They get fucking murdered by the Giants. Like, this didn't feel like the Tank Bowl. It felt like just another Sunday against a really good team. And going into this game, you and I texted because we didn't do a pod. We texted each other our predictions. What we both picked the Niners, or no, you picked the Bear. Did you pick the Bears?
I picked the
You
Niners.
picked the Niners. Okay,
I
cool.
picked the Raiders.
Yeah, you picked the Raiders to win this game. Um, I'm glad you were wrong, but I picked the Giants, and the reason why was mainly, I mean, these were after the IR designations. But the Giants again were putting so many players on their injury report they're gonna not play. Their offensive linemen and shit. It's like, oh fuck. But the reason why I chose the Giants were two main reasons. One, games are won in the trenches, and although the Giants were going to be benching some offensive linemen, I felt like their defensive line was just too good to like assume that our offensive line could take that. Like, no way. Um, but also mainly Jackson Dart. I just thought this game is so important to Jackson Dart. I know he's a rookie and all that, but like you have an interim coach who's trying to. He's not worried about the draft pick. Jackson Dart's not worried about the draft pick. He wants to prove that he's the guy. You think that guy wants to lose this game and then get Fernando Mendoza? No, he wants to win and get a
Or Josh
receiver in the
Roseland.
draft. Yeah, or there you go. Yeah. So I just thought this game was way more important to certain people on the Giants, namely Jackson Dart, and they still had way more talent now without Crosby and Bowers. Like those defensive linemen that they have were just too damn good, um, and they were getting a lot of pressure in this game. So yeah, it worked out. It worked out. Now the Raiders are the lone two-win team in the league. You've got the Giants, Jets, Cardinals, Browns, Titans as the 3-win teams. I think that's the teams.
Let me see.
Because the Saints have won a couple games recently, right? They're like 5 wins or something.
Yeah, the Saints have been doing pretty good.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck's way better than expected.
All right. So
But
the draft order right now, the Raiders 2-14, and then the Giants, the Jets, the Titans, Arizona, Cleveland at 4 wins, Washington. What the hell happened? 4-12. Wow. New Orleans, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Miami having more wins than Kansas City doesn't even feel real.
I mean, the Bengals being behind the Chiefs in the draft order doesn't feel right.
The
Considering
Falcons,
Burrow was hurt.
the Falcons and Miami are crazy. I think it just goes to show. I think that Kirk Cousins is better than Michael Penix.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when that all happened, they signed him and then draft Penix. Everybody was like, "Well, why did they sign Michael or Kirk Cousins?" And I was like, "I don't really see a problem with this. Like, if Michael Penix works out, that's amazing. That's what you pray for, basically.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't work out, that's why you paid Kirk Cousins, and you still have an offset chance to like make the playoffs and shit. Like maybe if Kirk Cousins was starting like 3 more weeks earlier this season, they might be the runaway favorites for the division. That's what this coaching staff was probably banking on. And now they might get fired because they drafted the wrong quarterback. I don't know.
Atlanta
yeah.
did the Lord's work by beating the Rams because not only did they win, but they improved the Rams draft pick. I mean, they worsened the Rams draft pick.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. So, point being, with all the draft talk, there is just all the Raiders got to do is lose against the Chiefs, and they have the number 1 pick. If there is a scenario or two, well, probably multiple, where the Raiders can win against the Chiefs and still get the first pick. I think, namely, they probably need the Giants to win. But there's also just strength of schedule, like scenarios where they could win, but before their game is even played, they could actually secure the first pick if like 3 of 4 teams win. And it's like if the Seahawks win against the Niners, that's one of them. Or if they lose, I forget. You know what? I have the tweet. Why don't I just fucking find it? I think I do. Let's see. Maybe I sent it to you. God damn it. Okay. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Why?
While you're looking at that, shout out to Jermaine who's tuning into the channel. He says Max Crosby is going to force his way out of Vegas and that he's smart for doing so. Also,
I don't think he's... I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say he's forcing his way out, but I could see the avenue for sure. I still think Crosby loves Vegas. I mean, he has that amazing house with the basketball court. Like, I know you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars a year, but you really want to leave that? You know? Like, I feel like he's got a good setup in Vegas. Plus, he's a big, like, UFC guy. Like, I really think he wants to stay, and he wants to see this thing through. And like I said, I think he was purely acting on emotion after an abrupt choice was made for him, which I don't think he likes. Just the fact that a choice was made for him, right? The competitor that he is. But we'll see how the offseason goes.
I like Jay Glazer, but I still find it funny that he's left the building. I actually really like Jay Glazer, because like I always feel like you get the inside information that nobody else has whenever he, talks on Fox, before the games on Sunday. But let me just tell you, if the Raiders and Crosby repair their relationship, we need Jay Glazer to be like, Max Crosby has re-entered the building.
Yeah. I heard somebody say that he was literally at practice like the next day. Obviously not practicing, but he was like back in the building the next day or some shit. I don't know.
Max Crosby has re-entered the building. Also, Mike, I am running on fumes right now.
Yeah, we'll clean up here. So the Raiders can clinch the number 1 pick before their game at 125 versus the Chiefs if, one, fuck me, hold on. Oh yeah, okay. If 3 of 4 of these teams lose, oh my god, this guy made it so confusing. I'm so sorry. All right. Seattle, Cleveland, and Atlanta, if they lose.
What does Seattle have to do with...
It's strength of schedule over, like, the Giants, Jets, those 3-win teams. Yeah. And then also if the Giants win, like, that would be a big one.
Missed
so it's Seattle versus San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah.
He says, Chiefs offense looks worse than the Raiders. They might mess around and beat Kansas City. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second. I do have some stuff to talk about, but I think it was Sean, right? Sean, welcome back. But I'll just call you Mr. Amazing in case I got the name wrong.
But basically, the 4 games the Raiders are looking at before their game would be Seattle, San Francisco, Cleveland and Cincinnati, Atlanta and New Orleans, and then Chicago and Detroit, which I want to say is the same time as the Raider game. But if certain teams lose/win in those games, that can possibly clinch the Raiders' first overall pick. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for those 3-win teams to just win on Sunday. What else is there to talk about? I mean, obviously, just getting that number 1 pick potentially is a big deal for this team. We've been talking about it for years now. I mean, ever since we started the podcast, talking about they need to take their medicine, they need to get that franchise quarterback. This has been like for you, like we as fans of our teams, you and I are like right at the pinnacle of what we've been preaching since we started this podcast. You are on the cusp of being the 1 seed, getting home field advantage literally through the Super Bowl. You just want to see this team win the Super Bowl. They've been in the Super Bowl window for how long now? Ever since the pod, even before the pod started. And can they get it done? For me, since the pod started, that was right post Derek Carr. We need to get a franchise quarterback. Your best bet at doing that is earning the first overall pick. Here we are. Our 2 respective teams are at the pinnacle of where they need to be to get in the right direction or just do the whole thing on your end of it.
I know. This might be one of the most exciting times, for the pod. That's why, I mean, it just fits so well in the title where I just named, do you know what I named this episode?
No, I did not.
Chasing number 1. Because both teams are chasing, the Niners are chasing the number 1 seed and the Raiders are chasing the number 1 overall pick. Also, Mr. Amazing says, good memory. Yeah, how could I ever forget the Joyner concert? It was a good time. Of course.
So, very important times for these teams. The Raiders, it pains me at times to say, like, they need to lose this game, but they need to lose this game. They need to secure that shit. And granted, if they go into their game 125 and it has been announced the Raiders have secured the number 1 pick via strength of schedule, let's beat some ass against the Chiefs. Then again, I mean, I don't want them to get a better pick, but it would be so satisfying to root for them just once. Regardless, though, just give me that number 1 pick. Let alone for the quarterback, but also just the value of that pick. And the second round pick being the first pick. Like, that's a key thing, which really isn't to these people, but when it comes to the draft, if we are the lone 2-win team, we would have the first pick of every round. If we are tied with 4 or 5 teams at 3 wins, the first round, well, we might have the second pick. Then the second round, we might have the third pick. Then the third round, we might have the 4th pick. It's a cycle, and then it goes back to the front it's like a rolling list, whatever you call that. That's how they do that. So if we're all alone, we get the first pick of every round. That's huge.
Yeah.
The value of that, it's worth it. So
I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I feel like there's a whole longer conversation to be had just on the idea of them tanking. Like, what made them do this? If they truly are, which it feels like it. I mean,
Tom Brady.
It's also good measure. I wonder. Yeah, it's also just good measure to make sure your star players are kept healthy. Notably they didn't put Janty on IR because he's not actively injured. He doesn't have a nagging injury. So I think if they were truly like full blown tanking, like fuck it mode, maybe they put him on IRs or just say, yeah, we're benching him. I don't fucking know. I doubt they would do that. But also, he's a rookie. It's good to get him snaps, right? You probably want him to get 1,000 all-purpose yards, yada yada yada. But I don't know. There's a conversation to be had about tanking, and you know, just the fact that it might be a thing that they're doing, and it's just funny. I think it's funny.
Mm-hmm. So
But
let's just say it is Tom Brady's idea to tank. Like, all right, can you hear me real quick?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right. What if it is Tom Brady's idea, and then like that Drake meme where he's like, oh, like
Yeah.
why didn't we think of that? Like,
Yeah. Literally,
dude,
like I said, when they got to 2-13, it was like, oh, I guess we're not making the playoffs.
yeah, or like when like one of your parents is like, yeah, I can't get the Wi-Fi to work, right? And then you just unplug it for like
Yeah.
30 seconds. You plug it back in, and
They're like,
wow, we have a quarterback.
no, I mean, yeah, dude. It's just not having the question of like, what's this team going to do ahead of us and this team and this team. Like, you can just know. Like, you can do your scouting, or I wonder if it is ownership or somebody high up, if they just went, yeah, it's clearly Mendoza. And there is this very real question of what if Dante Moore doesn't declare? Like, I guess this would be the conversation I'd have, is just there is the possibility that Dante Moore, the other like top end quarterback in this potential 26 class, there's a real possibility that he just stays at Oregon because they're going to be good next year, and he's still like 20 years old. He's still developing, you know. If he stays at Oregon, there's only one guy. And if you don't have the number one pick, you're not getting that guy. So to me, if I'm the Raiders and I'm like, we can get the first pick, and that might be what happens, that is so our luck to win this Giants game, or worse, win this Chiefs game. And I shouldn't be talking right now, actually. It's too early. But let's just, it's so our luck to win one of those games, end up with the third pick, and get fucked out of a quarterback. Just like that. We had the first, last year, they played the Jaguars. It was literally this scenario. They played the Jaguars. They had the first pick on lock if they just lose out. They beat the Jags. They dropped down to 5th overall. And then whatever else happened the rest of the year, they ended up with what? The 7th pick or some shit? Or no, they had the 6th. The 6th pick with Janty. Like, it could have been Cam Ward. I think I feel a little stronger about Mendoza right now than I did last year with Cam Ward. But we'll see.
Yeah. My advice to the Raiders, and what do I know, right? I'm just an armchair GM, right? An on the couch GM, so to speak. I haven't watched Fernando Mendoza play a single snap. I don't really watch college football, but don't just fall for all right, this guy is the unanimous number one pick. We're not going to scout anyone else. They should scout every quarterback. Yeah. And I would take the guy who is the best, they're going to run these quarterbacks through all these kind of tests. Take the smartest guy, take the one that has, like a good, maybe a decent amount of experience in college, running an offense, and just playing a lot of football, and then also pick one that has pretty promising traits that can be developed. That's how you get Patrick Mahomes wasn't the top guy in his respective draft. Like Mitch Trubisky was the top guy and he got taken, and he is a backup now if he's even still in the league.
I think the Bills.
So, Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't the top guy. He was the one who had these crazy traits, right?
Mm.
But you don't just chase traits. You also need the experience too. Mahomes threw so many passes in college. Josh Allen, I think, played a lot in college. Trey Lance did not play a lot in college, and he didn't pan out because he didn't have the experience, and then there was that COVID year. So you don't just chase traits, and you don't just chase, I'm sure the Heisman, like what goes into the Heisman Award too, is like how successful that team is. And you don't want to just pick whoever is the most successful quarterback on the most successful team. It's a team game.
Yeah.
And then if let's say he doesn't pan out, like I'm sure, like I said, I haven't seen Fernando Mendoza, but do your homework and get it right.
Yeah, 100%. I'll even do you one better. I think every NFL team and every scouting department has to scout as many players as possible. You would be an absolute idiot franchise to have the first, second, third overall pick and be like, well, we know we're going with this player or this position. So let's just I know. This is the Trey Lance thing, right?
No,
They didn't scout Mahomes, right?
they didn't scout Mahomes because they wanted Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. That wow, man. I mean,
And you know
I'm
who
a
beat
big
them in the Super Bowl twice?
not Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, somebody else.
Yeah.
Now here's a guy.
Yeah. But I'm a big Shanahan fan or supporter, whatever you want to call it. Like pro Shanahan, but
Yeah,
sometimes he makes personnel decisions. At least I think it's him. I'm sure it's him and John Lynch because he was the guy that got John Lynch hired. Like
yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, Shanahan's pulling the strings for the most part. That's why I don't like coaches being the personnel person. It's not their job to scout. Anyways, um, scouting department. Speaking of, the scouting department should scout everybody, and not just in the draft. There is a scouting department for free agents. There's a scouting department for next year's free agents. I mean, not separate departments, but like there is the NFL scouting department and there is the college scouting department of like going to games and this and that. I forget what they're called. There's different names for the shit, but you also have to like kind of scout ahead, not necessarily like scouting the future, but just know this guy's a free agent at this time, and to know like playing scenarios. Like I know like the weeks leading up to the draft, like usually the scouting is all done, the big board is all made. Now it's like let's mock this scenario, let's mock this scenario. Like teams will mock different things. They'll do fake trade offers. Do we accept this? What do we do here? They got to go through all of that. The Raiders need to scout every position, not named running back or punter. I mean, still later in the draft, I'm game for a running back, but first round. I'm talking first round here. The running back from Notre Dame who's going to be a first round pick. You don't need to scout him. We're not picking him, right? But like, the point we're making here is just you have the first overall pick, assuming they have it a week from now. You don't go, okay, so let's scout Fernando Mendoza, and yeah, there's this other quarterback. Let's look at him, and I guess this third guy who's supposed to go in the late first, let's just check him out anyways, just to be safe. That shouldn't be it. You should scout every defensive end. You should scout every offensive lineman. You should scout every linebacker, safety, corner, all of them. Receiver, because there might be a guy that you actually go, that's the best player in the draft. But because of the importance and value of quarterback, they're not going to be the first overall pick, this best player in the draft. And then you get to that week of mocking where it's like, all right, we intend to take Fernando Mendoza. But let's just say the Jets come calling and they're offering 3 first-round picks, one of them being the 3rd overall pick. So I think they have 2 firsts this upcoming year. Let's just say they give us 2 first-round picks this year, their first-round pick in 2027. For us to move down 2 spots, which is something similar to what you guys did to get Solomon Thomas, right? Went from the 2nd to 3rd pick. We get 2
we came
bonus
up on a
first
third-round pick on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you move down 1 spot. But and it's not the first pick, right? This is like franchise altering. We're going to get the franchise quarterback. That's how the Jets feel. You have to pay up.
Well, that's what the Bears thought.
Yeah, but 2nd overall pick, so it's and moving up only 1 spot. The Niners are like, we're going to get our guy for sure. Like the Raiders moving back 2 spots, it's like, all right, well, Dante Moore might not be there, yada yada. You scout that. You've scouted all the players, yada yada yada. And you go, we would accept that. Like, we don't feel that Fernando Mendoza is this, like, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. We feel that he's more of the, let's say,
Tua.
Would be a good, like a Jared Goff. We feel like Fernando Mendoza is like a Jared Goff. Like, we can win a lot with him, but he's not like this franchise-altering, he's going to change a franchise forever type guy, right? You need to surround this guy with a good quarterback or team. Let's say you think the best player in the draft is an offensive tackle. So the scouting ahead thing, this is my last point. You look at next year's draft class and you go, fuck, there's going to be 7 quarterbacks that are probably going to be coming out, including Arch Manning. Like,
is he even good?
We might have I don't know how good he is. I haven't watched him enough. I know he's been up and down. It sounds like he kind of like started shitty and then got better and better, but I could be wrong. But there's other quarterbacks too, and it's supposed to be a strong class next year. The point being, like, you can add depth to you can infuse your team with youth. You can surround the quarterback position with talent. You can get the best player in the draft, whether he's a receiver or offensive tackle or whatever. And then next year, you take a quarterback. It doesn't have to be Arch Manning. Chances are you have a top 5 pick because you don't have a franchise quarterback. Does Mark Davis and the fans want to wait another year? No. But if you're in it for the long run, maybe that is the best move. I don't know if this franchise is in the position to be like, yeah, fine, we'll pass on Mendoza, the clear top quarterback. I doubt it. You probably just take the quarterback and don't ask questions. But the point to all that, and to your point, is you have to scout everything. You have to do your due diligence no matter what. So
you know who knows
I
about
still think
quarterback?
all scenarios. I think all scenarios are on the table still. That's another thing. They need to figure out their coaching staff first. What are you going to say?
You know who knows about quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. He should be in every meeting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That, and also, like I just said, like, the coaching staff has a big say in that, and, pairing the coaching staff with this quarterback, like, that's going to be huge this offseason. Like, it's not all too obvious yet. Like, once they get the coaching staff in, then I'll have a better idea and whatnot. But chances are, if you have the first overall pick, they're taking a quarterback. Mm-hmm. So
I want to get to Sean's comments, and then we can predict a winner of the Chiefs game, because I got to go. I got to wake up early tomorrow. But he asked what we think about Indiana's quarterback. I don't really watch college football, but if you're talking about NFL, Philip Rivers, he's old, and Riley Leonard, I mean, he's a national champion, and I thought that he was doing pretty good when he got in there, but then they decided we want to pick from the retirement home.
Yeah. The Indiana quarterback is Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, I think good things of him. He used to be at Cal. Admittedly, when he was with Cal, I didn't think too much of him in the games that I did watch. Um, but from what I understand, he went to a more pro style offense this year, and obviously he won the Heisman. He's been a stud. He's been clutch. I think they haven't lost a game this year. So the only knack that I've heard really is that in the bigger games against the tougher opponents, statistically he hasn't looked quite so amazing, um, as you'd expect. But the thing that I like about him, oddly, just because I haven't watched enough of him to say like, oh, it's this, it's that, his arm when he does this, like it's none of that. I haven't seen enough of him. I really haven't watched enough of him. Um, but those like post game, interviews and just how much of a football nerd this guy is. Like he's diehard football or bust. Um, he screams to me. I know a lot of people are like all weird about him and like, oh, I don't like his personality. I'm like, I don't get it. This guy to me is as clear as day a franchise quarterback personality wise. Clear as day. He seems like a genius too. So yeah, he's a nerd.
Um, so I just
Chiefs.
had a full circle moment.
Hmm.
So when I played NCAA 25, the one that came out last year,
Yes.
I created this quarterback and I had him play at Cal, and I was the
Hmm.
third string quarterback for like 2 years. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I can't get past this freaking guy. And
Yeah.
the guy's name was Fernando Mendoza. And so
That's
now
him.
I just had, I put two and two together, and I'm like, wow, that's the asshole.
That's that fucking guy.
He's the reason why I transferred to Miami, or not Miami, Hawaii.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And they just played in the Hawaii Bowl too. Cal and Hawaii.
yeah. 49ers scouted CeeDee Lamb, but drafted Ayuk, shaking my damn head. I think that Ayuk was
That was
drafted
after CD.
way later than Lamb. But the next one, 49ers scouted Puka Nakua, but drafted Jake Moody. LOL. Shaking my damn head. That is inexcusable.
Yeah. The scouting report on Puka Nakua was that he was injury prone. Like that's the thing people seem to forget. Is like every year he had like a leg injury
Well,
or
you know
some shit
what?
like that.
Sometimes scouting reports are wrong. Like
Oh
Jake
yeah. I
Moody
think
being accurate or reliable.
yeah. There's been so many college players that are like injury prone and then they go to the NFL and they just don't get hurt. Which Puka isn't exactly like not getting hurt, but you know,
He's
the
tough.
talent is talent. You have to see the talent through.
Yeah. Um, so last topic: Raiders versus Chiefs. We're just gonna go quick and make some predictions here. But one thing that I find very interesting is that Andy Reid right now has an opportunity to make his division opponent worse just by throwing the game. Why wouldn't he?
Uh, yeah, I've definitely thought of that. I also I couldn't help but like imagine Andy Reid being like, "Oh, I'm just rich with Super Bowl trophies and cheeseburgers. I feel really bad for Pete Carroll. Let's give him a win. He's had such a tough season, that old guy. I'm a fellow old guy. I should let him win." But really, it's I think the competitiveness and you know, I mean, for a legacy standpoint, like just getting one more win for Andy Reid, I think to put it on a Hall of Fame career. Um, Not that he's done, just a win is a win. Um, and I think maybe more of their players are playing for things than ours are. Geno Smith might not play in this game because of his ankle injury that he got in the Giants game towards the end. Um, so if it's Kenny Pickett, I'm pretty confident the Chiefs will win. I will also note that they narrowly almost beat the Broncos this past week with this third string quarterback whose name I don't even know. Um, which goes more to Sam's point of, are the Broncos frauds? Um, I think, besides the fact that the Chiefs are missing quite a few offensive weapons, they still have Kelsey. They still have a lot of their offensive linemen. They still have Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. No Rashid Rice, but they do have Xavier Worthy, and I'm assuming Hollywood Brown, unless I'm wrong. Um, but their defense is still solid, and that's why I think they will win this game.
I'm going to make a conditional one.
Okay.
I think if Geno Smith plays, the Raiders win this game. Because he is on the verge, he's going to get replaced. And I see the season started with a big middle finger to, a fan. So maybe it'll end with him, big middle fingers for the Raiders. And Pete Carroll, all the reports are that they're looking for another coach. I think he might want to go out at least with a win and compete. And I don't know. There's just too many logical sides telling me, man, why are the Chiefs going to even try to win this game? So that way the Raiders can get a franchise quarterback and be a threat to them? I don't know. And then so they can worsen their draft pick?
Yeah. I mean,
and it's in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Which, to me, that place is going to be filled with Chiefs fans, I think. I know the Chiefs season's over, but also, it very well might be Travis Kelce's final game ever. A trip to Vegas is a trip to Vegas nonetheless. And Chiefs fans just always show up there.
If there's anything I know, another reason why. All right, so only if Geno plays. If Geno doesn't play, fine. Yeah, I'll pick the Chiefs, and then it'll be the Cinderella story for Travis Kelce. But if it is Geno, another reason why I'm picking, or why I would pick the Raiders in that scenario, is, God, I had it. Like I said, I'm on fumes, man. The Raiders have ruined every single tank every year for 20 years. They've ruined it. It doesn't matter when. I almost feel like we're just due for them to ruin it. So I don't know. I'll only if Geno plays though. I'm gonna write that down too. Chiefs if Geno doesn't play. Okay. Otherwise, Chiefs. But that's all we have for the episode. Fortunately, I gotta go. So, Mike, you're picking Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. I might change it if Geno does play, but I'm he seems like he could barely walk at the end of that game. I really don't think they're gonna play him, especially if there is any truth to the tank allegations. You have your opportunity to bench Geno. I will say, if I were Geno, I would go out guns fucking blazing if I could. Because I don't like Geno. Yeah, there's pretty obvious reasons why as a Raider fan. He is such a letdown. He might be one of our worst quarterbacks ever. This is worse than Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not the type of fan that would have been in the stands. This is my last point. I'm sorry. I'm not the type of fan that would have been in the stands flipping him off as he limped off, but was barely able to walk. to the locker room, you know? So, like, if I, like, putting myself in Geno Smith's shoes, I don't know how. Because I know probably ever since, like, week 6 or 7, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sure since at least week 6, he has been hearing all this shit from Raider fans. Bro, you fucking suck. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. Middle fingers, this, that, whatever. Like, he even flipped off a Raider fan at one point. Not the, Seahawks preseason game. Like, there was a game mid-season this year that he was running off field and he flipped off a Raider fan. Apparently.
Yeah.
Like, he of all people has heard all this shit from the Raider fans this year. So, like, second to the last game, the big tankathon game, we're losing. And he gets hurt pretty bad, it seems, in the ankle. And he's walking off the field and he's got, like, just these fans in the stands for the Raiders flipping him off. Like, bro, if I could play the next week, I would fucking play my heart out if I were him. So I hope he doesn't play.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'll need to make a change to my pick if I hear that Aiden O'Connell is going to start, but Kenny Pickett for sure going Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then last comment of the day, and then we're officially done with the show. Prince Snake, welcome to the channel. We talk about the Niners and the Raiders, but this is a good one here. He says, "Hey Raider Nations, you guys are playing for the number 1 draft pick, bottom team. I know you meant Niners. Niners, bang bang. We play for the number 1 seed. Yas losers." I like that.
I think Prince Snake is a Niner fan.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's a good educated guess. But
yeah,
I'd
also like to think that Andy Reid just has fun this weekend and just like, fuck it, just let's throw the playbook at him.
He'll have fun after the game when he goes down the strip to Whataburger.
Yeah, or whatever nearest burger there is.
White Castle.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Anyways.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank Prince Snake, Mr. Amazing, Frank Weber, Jermaine M, Pia, Kenny 49ers, Sam, Logan, Benji, 49er Media, and Raider Nation 510, for tuning in and commenting. We really appreciate it. If you guys could take a second and, just like the stream, it helps us get more, of you guys, so that way we can take more comments, keep the show going. So, we definitely appreciate your guys' support and tuning into the video until hopefully next week. I'm thinking that we'll probably have an episode next week, we definitely should, because we will find out if we have.
If the Niners are the 1 seed, we'll also find out if Pete Carroll is fired.
If the
Raiders have the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, a week from now will be very telling and important. My last words here, and then I'll let you end it out. I figured it out. Go Detroit versus Chicago. Go New Orleans versus Atlanta. Go Bengals versus Cleveland. And go Niners versus the Seahawks. The Raiders need, I think, 3 out of 4 of those, if I'm not mistaken, to secure the number 1 pick before they even play on Sunday.
So you're rooting
I might
for
have
Niners?
that backwards, but I hope that's the way it is. So if that's I'll have to figure that out and confirm it for myself. If anybody's interested in that, I'm sure you could search up tiebreaker scenarios, Raiders, Giants, and find out. But I will be figuring that out by Saturday, and I will be rooting accordingly. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, everyone. Everybody have a great night. I am going to take a shower, get into bed, and sleep for a couple hours, and then wake up and be an adult. All right. Everybody take care. Thank you.
Peace and
Stranger
Things.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
right, I'm gonna let it run a couple seconds.
Well, you know what? Do you have any theories for Stranger Things?